Hi there, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday. Not gonna lie, I'm wearing a jacket. It is so cold out that the heat's running in my house, but it is just too cold. Like when it's in the teen digits, I would rather go somewhere warm. I totally get why my grandparents were snowbirds. So that is a goal of mine. I always think I'm getting too old for this, but anyhow, welcome to Q&A Wednesday. We have a great topic today. You know, it's kind of funny. I actually decided to change my topic because things happen during the week, and I always try to make it relevant as to what's going on in the world and what my clients are asking and what you guys ask. And so, yeah, my nose even looks red. Is that just because I'm just freezing? If you could touch my hands right now, I am like, I'm an ice cube. So I've got like blankets here. I'm just, trying to stay warm. Ready for summer already. Let's just go somewhere warm, everybody. So anyway, the topic tonight is actually based on, I just giggle. It's just that right time of year. The gyms are still a little bit full. I pull into the parking lot and go, oh my gosh, I can't even find a place to park. But one of the things that does tend to happen at this point is, I have a lot of people that jump in and say, how quickly am I going to see results? I got to see results to stay motivated. And my thought process is, well, how long did it take you to get in the position that you're at right now? Because trust me, the beer belly or whatever did not happen overnight. That's taken, months and even years of working to, the nasty habits to get where you are now. So it's just funny. Think about the fact that your body can't really cheat science, and although you may be able to do something in a really quick manner, that doesn't always make it healthy either. So we're going to approach that tonight. And if you guys, I see everybody popping up. If you have questions, please ask, because, like I said, I get my best ideas from you guys, and I want to make sure that I'm talking about things that are relevant to you and what your situation is. So let's talk about it. And I did add under the tag of what I posted earlier today about what we're going to talk about, something about how how quickly can I get shredded? So we are going to talk a little bit about that. Not that it's impossible, but it really depends on where you start at this point. Just, case in point, I've talked about this a few times, but, when I get people coming to me and wanting to compete, I have to take a hard look at where they are right now. And maybe they're not in a horrible shape, but, when it comes to like bodybuilding, we get really ridiculously lean to be on stage. And when somebody is, 25 or even 30% body fat, that's not even a factor at that point. What I need you to do right now at that body fat percentage is to really work on getting your overall healthy lifestyle in order. When you want to be shredded, you got to start lean. And that's a whole different ball game. And predominantly the people that I do work with are not necessarily people that are wanting to compete. I work with people who really have kind of gotten off track or have never really, like me, never figured out how to get on track until maybe later in life. And so they're approaching a situation where, maybe they have a little more time, a little more disposable income, the ability to get to the gym. They don't necessarily have toddlers running around, although a few do. And so it's a little different ballgame. Really, they are trying to get an overall healthy being. That's what they want to be. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how quickly really you should see results. Now, keep in mind that the results that you think that you should see and the results that your body's going to give you might not match up. In this day and age, everything is instant. We want instant gratification, everything we have is instant food, instant movies. All you have to do is click on Netflix. You can watch whatever the heck you want. Instant communication. You can talk to anybody anywhere in the world just by clicking on something. So, that might be our lifestyle when it comes to technology, but that doesn't mean that our bodies have changed into how it responds to, diet, which don't like that word, and just becoming healthy. So keep that in mind. The first thing that, I want you to think about is there has to be a balance, right? Because as I've said before, diets are short term, but so are the results. So if you have set a New Year's resolution and that's something that you're working towards, not that that's a bad thing, but really it's not about what can you accomplish in 3 months. It's about where can you get to at your life where you're happy. You're finding that balance of being able to do something day in, day out, create those habits, have that consistency of being able to eat well, exercise more, sleep better, reduce your stress. And when you can find that balance and not feel like it's overwhelming, that it takes too much time, that it creates too many stressors in your life, that's the healthy balance you're trying to find. Because I find I've had clients come to me and say, do you think that I can accomplish this really big goal in 3 months? And I'm like, yeah, you probably could, but you're going to be miserable. And it's not just that, but once you get there, are you going to be able to maintain that? Because whatever it is that you have to do to get there, you have to be able to do that forever to keep it. So not saying that you might not have a short-term goal, if you're going on a trip or something to that effect. But yeah, you could probably see some pretty amazing, incredible results in a very short period of time if you dedicated a ton of time, a ton of energy, and that's your focus and that's your sole priority. But for most of us, we have jobs, we have kids, we have lives, we have spouses. And if we are to take all our time and put it towards it's a little selfish, right? And people in the competition world, whether it's, powerlifting, definitely when it comes to bodybuilding, that's what you're going to find. It's a little bit selfish because you do have to spend an extra little bit more time on you and what you're trying to accomplish. So for those of us that have real lives and we're trying to actually maintain some sort of a balanced lifestyle, somebody told me that it is saying that it is being an error. So I don't know. I hope it's being okay. I've really had some issues with my internet, and it's not even my router, it's actually the internet. So hopefully this posts when we're done, and if not, I apologize. Because I know a lot of people are popping up, but it's not even showing that people are actually watching. So I really don't know. I'm about sick of my internet. So let's try something. Let me push this on. Let me see if I can put it on data really quick. Or not. It might just not let me do anything. So, well, hopefully it's actually recording, and hopefully it'll let me post so that you can at least go back and watch it after the fact. So I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I've had some serious issues with our router, with our internet. So here's the deal. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If, really getting super duper lean or ripped is really your goal, there's a couple things that you're gonna have to pay attention to. If your body fat percentage is over 20%, you're probably not going to be able to get ripped in the next few months. You're really gonna have to get that body fat percentage down under 20%. If you can't see abs, if you've never had abs, and think that getting ripped is something that you're going to be able to do really quick, you got to get kind of to a stabilized point, a body fat percentage, so that you can get as far as you'd like to go. Like I said, I can't tell. Okay, so everybody's telling me that it won't let anybody watch. Not sure what's going on. So I'm going to actually stop. Okay, so I was having some serious issues with my internet. I'm not sure if it's working now or who knows. It just might be issues with, I don't know. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully my last segment posted. I did go ahead and stop and post it because I got lots of people telling me that they were not able to pop on. It was giving them error options. So, Carmen, tell me if it's actually doing anything right now. I'm not sure if it's working. So hopefully you were able to see what I was doing before. If not, I'll kind of go back over what I've been talking about this evening. Covering the fact that people want to see results really quickly to stay motivated. Oh, good, it posted. So, okay, cool. So Stacy says it posted. So I'm just going to continue. I have no idea what the problem with, I don't know. Now I'm on data. So hopefully it's working better. I think our internet is just doing its own thing. So if you weren't able to watch the little segment before, go back. It posted. And so that was a good, I'll kind of review what I've talked about and then continue on. So again, I apologize. Technology is kind of one of those love-hate things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I want to throw my phone out the window. So we're talking tonight about how quickly can you see results, and then kind of we talked a little bit about whether or not it's something pretty easy to get shredded. Because to be honest with you, Google how quickly can I get shredded, you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff pop up. And I have some tips, and I have some don't even bother to try kind of things with that. So we've been talking about how, you can't undo years of bad habits and find that your body's going to respond super quickly to, immediate changes. Now, so here's my tip. One of the things that I ask my clients to do in the very beginning when they've set a goal, especially if it's a health goal, and that I don't like weight loss goals because it really doesn't give you enough information. It doesn't tell you where that weight loss is coming from. And so you could lose some weight, but in the beginning it's going to be water, right? And then it quite possibly, depending on what you're doing, it could be muscle, and that's not what you want to lose. Muscle is a natural fat burner. It contributes to your body burning fat a little bit better. So you don't necessarily want to burn muscle. Plus, muscle is what gives you definition, guys. So for ladies, those of you that are going, I just want to tone, you got to have some muscle to do that, right? You can't tone to fat. So keep in mind that losing weight is not really our goal. But no matter what your goal is, you have to kind of step back and think, okay, first of all, how did I get where I am now? How long did it take me to get here? And then also, how you're going to have to break it down into bite-sized pieces. But no matter the goal, I highly recommend that you take pictures of yourself. Because one of the things that happens a lot of times is people see change, they just don't, because it's on a very slow day-by-day basis. You see yourself in the mirror every day. You might not see those changes come about. And by taking an original before picture, and then maybe every month or 6 weeks, take another picture, you can side-by-side those. You can see the physical changes that happen in your body. I think also paying attention to the right cues from your body makes a lot of sense. Instead of looking at the scale, because again, the scale it's just going to tell you what you weigh according to a sack of potatoes. It's not going to tell you what your body fat percentage is. But with the mirror, things like seeing your clothes change, how do your clothes fit differently, is literally, I've had guys in the past, guy clients that, in one breath are super excited because they're now doing their belt 4 little loops tighter. And then in the next breath, they're devastated because the scale hasn't moved. So make sure that your goal is appropriate to what is healthy and how your body really truly is going to work, because you might be seeing some significant changes, but the scale might not reflect that. Also, stay off the scale, because especially if it messes with your head, there is no benefit to weighing yourself on a daily basis and then berating yourself because you're not seeing the changes. It could just be that you had a little more sodium yesterday, or you ate a few more carbs. Hey, when I eat a true cheat meal, I am literally up 8 pounds, because that's a gallon of water. My body retains about an extra gallon of water. My clothes tell me that too. So again, you can't gain 8 pounds of fat overnight. It's not going to happen. So those pictures can really give you a realistic view, especially sometimes you're going to have to size them and try to have the same person take them from the same angle so that you're not playing mind games. But that will give you a better view of how far you've come, and what changes your body has actually made. Okay, so pictures are great. I can tell more from a picture, before and after picture, than I can tell from anything else. And I take multiple measurements of my clients. I do body fat. I tape, circumference to see where things are at, because I just want to see some numbers coming down. I just want to see progress. Now, let's talk about progress. You don't have to have amazing change. You guys, progress is progress. Think about it. Is it just being down a couple of pounds, or down, 3 or 4% body fat, which is amazing, by the way, or, being down 2 pant sizes? Isn't that great? What's bad about that? Yeah, you might not have dropped 5 or 6 or 7 dress sizes. Who cares? You're getting somewhere. You need to celebrate that every step of the way, instead of going, okay, well, I did okay, but I'm not where I want to be. Get over it. Again, in this instantaneous society, that's not the way that your body works. Just because our technology has sped up doesn't mean our bodies are going to do the same thing. And so here's the thing, again, if you're trying some sort of crash diet, or, you're doing something new or some trendy BS thing, because of course you want to see results overnight. Number one, it's not good for your body. Number two, you're not going to be able to keep the results. And number three, it's not about how quickly you take it off. It's about how long can you keep it off. Nobody that I know or that I work with says, hey, get me down to a size 2 for, a couple of months, and then I'm going to just do whatever I want. I'm going to blow back up to, an extra 40 pounds. Nobody says that. So be patient with yourself. For some strange reason, we think that, if we don't see this amazing jump in what we're trying to accomplish, that we didn't do our job. That's not the way it works. Not to mention, you personally, mentally and emotionally, can't keep up with that. So before I dealt with my phone being stupid, which it took me a little while because y'all had to tell me it was being stupid, we talked about that. It really depends on if you can keep up with it. Yeah, that's great. You probably can, get to your goal in 3 or 4 months. But did you hate life? Did you hate life doing it? Because whatever you did to get there, you have to keep doing to keep it, right? So keep that in mind. All right. So, here's another one. This is Melissa's talking some tough love today, guys. You can't get ripped eating junk food. You just can't. Okay, you can't, you might be able to once in a while have a cheat meal. And I highly recommend that no matter what you're doing, that you actually have a free meal once in a while. Now, difference between cheat meal and free meal. Cheat meal is a free for all, eat whatever the heck you want. You're gonna probably feel sick and disgusting by the time you're done. A free meal just means something that's not necessarily in your meal plan, or maybe not even within your macros for the day, but it kind of jumpstarts your metabolism. It makes you feel like you're not sacrificing. Once in a while, if you want a grilled cheese sandwich and soup because it is literally freezing outside, have that. If you want pizza with the kids, have 2 pieces of pizza and a salad. Don't eat the whole pizza. Okay, again, that's a cheat meal. And unfortunately, the problem with cheat meals is a lot of times that cheat meal turns into a cheat day, which turns into a cheat weekend, and then all of a sudden you're completely derailed and off track. But it has to be realistic, right? You have to be able to balance that, being happy, being able to function. You might be able to hit the gym 5 days a week for a few months, but is that going to be realistic for the rest of your life? Seasons change, balance changes. If you're somebody who's never had kids before and now you're pregnant, it's going to be a little different because now your body and chemistry is going to change. So be okay. This is a journey. This is not a destination. And just because you get to your goal doesn't mean you're going to stay there, especially if you go all the way back to bad habits. And I've been there. So I know this from experience, not just because I'm talking about it. So some of the things that people do when they want to see like really quick results, or they're really trying to get somewhere quickly, is that they choose to really eat way too low calorie. They crash diet. People think that, hey, I'm going on a diet, and they immediately think 1,200 calories, which was the subject of our Q&A Wednesday a couple weeks ago, that 1,200 calories is the minimum amount of calories a human being should eat to not have severe consequences from malnutrition. And not even that, but if you're eating 1,200 calories worth of processed food and junk, you're not even getting nutrients. You're giving your body literally empty calories, right? So it comes down to just making healthier overall choices. Not only that, but when you crash diet, you're going to lose muscle, which again, we've talked about. Muscle is important. It doesn't have to be big muscle, but your body sees muscle as a huge expense. It will burn off muscle before it burns anything else. As a matter of fact, if your calories are too low, your body will literally hold on to the body fat because that's your protection, and it will burn muscle off first because it is an expense, right? Hi, Sean. So that's a big mistake if you're trying to reach your goal too quickly. Some people will do cardio. They'll do hours and hours and hours of cardio, and not any strength training, which again has significant benefits, but they'll do hours of cardio. Here's the deal. First of all, if you're doing 90 minutes of cardio, what are you going to do when you do have a short-term goal? Hi, Amanda. What are you going to do when you want to look good for a vacation? If you're already doing 90 minutes of cardio, you've taken away a tool that will help you to kind of jump it up really quick, maybe for 3 or 4 weeks, get you that extra little, way that you're trying to go to be lean or healthy or fit, because you've taken that away. Your body becomes it adapts very quickly. So when you're doing 90 minutes of cardio, look at marathon runners. They literally have gotten to the point where their body is so efficient. Cardio is one thing you don't want to be efficient at. Their bodies have gotten so efficient at it, they don't burn as many calories. They're able to do 26 point whatever miles because they've been practicing, and their body knows how to do it without taking a lot of energy. So doing 90 minutes of cardio, there's no benefit. You might as well rein that back to like 30 minutes of cardio a day, and then do some strength training, because again, building that muscle will actually help raise your metabolism overall, even while you sleep, and help you to actually burn more calories on an average basis than just doing that extra cardio. Now, not saying that you shouldn't do cardio or that you shouldn't employ that as part of your regular routine. That is part of something that will get you where you want to go, but don't overdo it. Being a cardio bunny does not make you not flabby. And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you've all seen lots of skinny fat, and honestly, I see tons of people at the gym and all they do is cardio, and I'm thinking that's great, and proud of you for doing more and moving more. That is part of the process. But if you're like me, you want to be efficient at it. I only have so much time in the day to devote to myself and to my own workouts. I don't want to do an hour of cardio. Cardio and I have a love-hate relationship already. So, I like it to an extent. I get some stuff done. I listen to music. I watch movies, something. But I do my cardio on purpose, okay? The other thing is, don't think, the other biggest mistake, these are mistakes, People that think that they can get completely ripped and they have literally no muscle. If you think you're going to get ripped and you don't do any consistent strength training, what are you going to get ripped to? You're going to get ripped to nothing. You have to have some muscle to actually lean out around. So again, strength training is going to be part of the process. And if you're not sure how to do it, find a professional that can help you. That is important. So here are my tips. Hopefully I'm helping you see that, no matter your goal, don't be in a hurry. Like I said, I know we want to see it yesterday before we even got started, but that's not how it works. And so those people that you see that are pretty consistently in shape, they didn't get there overnight. They've been working on that for quite a while. It's a process. It's definitely a process. So tips from me. Number one, we talked about taking pictures to see changes. I highly recommend that because honestly, there are times that I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not seeing anything. The scale hasn't moved, whatever. But because, most of my last 6 years, I've turned in pictures to my coaches, I'm able to side by side those pictures and I can see that I am having changes. I am seeing some change there and where that's coming from. And I do that a lot with my clients just to make sure that if nothing else is moving, they see that their body is changing. Number two, stay off the scale. Stay off the scale. It really just doesn't give you enough information, especially if it really dictates your mood. I had a wonderful, wonderful client years ago who I finally had to confiscate her scale because, when she'd have a really great day and she'd get on that scale and it was down, she would allow herself a reward, which in theory is not that bad of an idea. But the problem is that if she got on the scale and it was up, she would have a meltdown and then she would binge. So either way, that scale was completely determining how she would feel that day, and it wasn't getting her where she needed to go. And so I did. I confiscated that scale for about 4 months because it was an addiction that we needed to break. So, hey, Tina. Good. Hey, it's good to see you. On lunch break this time of day. Hey, you take it when you can get it, right? Eat clean. If you're really trying to get somewhere, there's so many ridiculous theories on, especially on the internet. Hey, just if it fits your macros, if you get carbs for the day, it can be ice cream. No, guys, the quality of calories does matter. You might be able to get away with that a little bit when you're younger, but the older we get, the bigger the difference that makes. Our bodies can't bounce back as fast. Our body stores that stuff. It knows immediately, yes, I am cold, Sean, and no, I don't need your body fat. So thank you for offering. By the way, even when I was 210 pounds, I was always cold. So it has nothing to do with my low body fat. It's either my circulation or the fact that I'm just sensitive to it. But, hey, now Millie's hopping back on. I know she was on earlier and my thing wasn't working. So, eat clean, it does make a difference. Your body does absorb and hold on to all those toxins, the additives and preservatives, because it's something that your body doesn't know what to do with. And so it stores it away in what else? What is our storage of the body? It's fat cells. So, and of course, like I said, above all, be patient. When people drop weight really fast, we'll talk about keto in just a minute. You can also go back to my couple weeks ago last week when I talked about diets. Whenever you try to do something really quickly, there's a few things that happen. Dropping weight super quick does not allow you the time to make life changes, to make habit changes. Obviously, I got to 210 pounds for a reason. I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. I would eat anytime that I would get stressed out. Hey, Noe, I would, shove my face in a bag of M&Ms or some sort of chocolate. So because of course the sugar would release dopamine and it would allow me to feel better, at least momentarily. But for those of you that have dealt with food addiction, we have that guilt cycle, right? We feel miserable, we're upset, we have something happen, some obstacle or something that happens in our life. And of course, then we eat food because it makes us feel better. And then as soon as we do that, then we feel bad and guilty because we ate something we know we shouldn't. So now we're feeling miserable again. It becomes this vicious cycle and it's not healthy. And so finding other ways to deal with stress is super important in that way. So when you try to take off the weight quickly, you haven't really gotten the tools yet in your toolbox to be able to deal with stress. And there's some steps you're going to have to take. There's a process that has to happen in order to deal with that. You have to really figure out as you lose weight or become a leaner, healthier person, you have to actually learn how to deal with the new you. You become a different person. Your lifestyle changes, your habits change. Things that happen to me. I lost friends because partially, I didn't drink anymore. I didn't eat, crazy stuff. I wasn't going out all the time. Well, then Melissa must not be fun. So I don't get invited to the same things anymore. So all of a sudden, friends are not talking to me anymore, or they don't invite me to do stuff, which is kind of, it's a little bit depressing, and maybe they don't want to be around you. I've had a few friends come back later and say, I just felt like you would judge me. And why would I judge you? Just because I've made the choice to be healthier doesn't mean that I don't love those people still. So, there's a process of, and even looking in the mirror. If you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself, it's a little disconcerting. You have to take some time to get to know yourself again, and figure out, am I a different person? Because people will treat you different. And that's, again, there's a lot of psychological processes that have to happen when you are trying to become a healthier version of yourself. So that's important. Another one is that, your skin has to be able to shrink back to reattach to your tissue. And if you've seen people who have had extreme dramatic weight loss in a very short amount of time, now they have all this skin that just really can't bounce back that fast. And so what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to go to something a little more major like surgery. And of course, that's very invasive. You should allow your body time to catch up with that situation. And the other one too is that, as you're emptying all those fat cells back into your system, all those things that have been stored in your body, again, the toxins, the additives and preservatives, will begin to actually empty and recirculate throughout your body. And when you're getting healthier and maybe you're building some muscle, your immune system is going to be down just a little bit, and it's not going to know how to deal with that. I had a lot of clients that have gotten very, very sick because, of course, their body is freaking out and trying to decide how to deal with it. So, some good questions. Okay, so Tina asks, what is a healthy weight loss number per week? No more than 2 pounds. No more than 2 pounds. Now that first couple of weeks, you might lose more than that. Then of course, the bigger the person that you start, the further you have to go, you might drop really quick initially. But again, you've heard it, it's water weight. Because here's what happens. When you start to eat a little healthier and cleaner, your body retains less water. When you eat more carbs, when you eat more processed food, when you eat more sodium, your body will actually hold onto the water. And as you know, because I tell you this almost every week, 1 gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. So all of that your body was retaining is now going to flush, right? And don't stop drinking water, because that won't help the situation. Your body needs to flush. So the more that you drink, the more your natural diuresis will work and your body will flush. So that is a really great question. 1 to 2 pounds is healthy. Anything faster than that, and honestly, you're going to start burning muscle, not fat. So keep that in mind. So we talked about being patient. There's a huge mindset that has to change. There's some major things. I would say the physical part really is the easy part. It's not that difficult to get to the gym. It's not that difficult to pick up a weight or to do 20 minutes of cardio. The hard part is the games that we play in our head. Whether that's, it's not happening fast enough, whether it's, okay, this is great, but now I'm going to justify, because I've done really well all week, I'm going to justify a pitcher of beer, or, for me, it would be chocolate cake. I don't know. Not saying that you can never have those, but make sure that your head's in the right place, because that's part of it. And back to getting ripped, again, you have to be at a specific point of your life. You have to be a certain amount of lean in order to think that getting ripped is even an option. And then you have to decide if it's worth it, because at some point you're going to have to sacrifice. The smaller the person, the more in shape we are, the harder we have to work, the more dedicated we have to be, the more focused we have to be. When I was competing, I ate 0 sugar, 0. A lot of times I didn't even get fruit, depending on what my meal plan was for the time. So, granted, at that point, I knew that it was temporary. You can't walk around as a fitness model 24/7, 365 without some pretty intense sacrifice. So keep that in mind. Be realistic with your goals, guys. Tina says she's been doing great and drinking water. Awesome, because drinking more water is one of the cheapest, easiest ways to flush your system and give your body a healthy option, a healthy habit, versus, investing $1 jillion in some sort of processed food diet plan that is still processed food and still not healthy. Blows me away. So hopefully that helps. I had a quick question about keto here that popped up earlier. Again, anytime we're talking about a diet, you're talking about something short-term and temporary. Partially because you're not going to be able to mentally and emotionally handle anything longer than short term. And partially because, anytime that you cut out a complete nutrient like ketogenic diets, first of all, there is no long-term research on it being safe for human beings, right? And number two, the research that has been done shows that at the 1 year mark, anyone on a ketogenic diet has about the same results as any other diet. So the downside to keto is that when you're on keto, guys, you have to be dead flipping on. If you don't like tracking your food, then you probably shouldn't do keto, because you have to make sure you're not out over a certain amount of carbs. And if you decide that you want a cheat, you have to start all over again. Contrary to people that have talked to me going, no, your body gets used to it. No, guys. Again, you can listen to all the gimmicks and the BS you want, but your body will go back into, right? If once you go off keto, your body's going to react and it's going to put all of that weight back on, because now you're starting to eat more carbs and your body has to readjust and has to react to that. So I am not a huge fan of any diet that completely rules out a nutrient. There are huge benefits to complex carbs. So stop cutting the carbs, cut the crap. Right? Because a Pop-Tart and a sweet potato are not the same thing. They might both be carbs, but one is a processed food full of refined sugars, which your body's going to react to completely differently than it is going to a sweet potato, which is high in fiber, high in vitamins, high in nutrients that your body needs. So again, I think there's just a huge misconception that A, we have to get it done quick, and B, that, well, if I cut out all carbs, I'm going to see quick results. Yeah, you might, but you know, anybody who's trying to put on any amount of significant muscle is not going to be able to completely cut out carbs and get where they want to go, because the carbs are your energy source. It has to support the fact that your body needs the protein to actually build muscle. And if it's turning it to glucose in order to give yourself energy, it can't dedicate that towards building and maintaining muscle. So got a couple things coming out. Like I said, you can go back to last week's Q&A and watch my opinion of diets in general. I'm also coming out with an ebook here in another few weeks that talks about my view of them, some of the most popular diets that are out and about today, and why I just wildly think that they're inappropriate. Again, you know, if you're already at a really healthy, lean, fit point of your life, and you're just trying to push a little further for a temporary goal, that's one thing. But for most people that I work with, they want to get there and stay there. They want to maintain some semblance of being healthy and feeling better and feeling good. And so the diets are inappropriate. I don't care what type of diet you're talking about. It is pretty much is going to be, you know, temporary in nature and temporary in results as well. So here's my final thoughts for tonight. You know, I really had this thought earlier today. I'm reading a really great book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which was recommended by several friends of mine. And I love it because what it talks about is, you know, those people that appear to have success overnight, you know, that show up and, you know, boom, they're an instant sensation or an instant success. That's not really how it works. You might see just that part of it, but it's kind of like the picture of the iceberg, where you see, you know, the tip of the iceberg above the water, but down below there's this huge amount of iceberg that you can't see holding it up. You know, most people that, you know, have hit that point, whether it's success in their health goals, whether it's success in their business goals, or, you know, becoming celebrities or whatever, have spent years and years and years, day in and day out, creating good habits that get them where they want to go. That's what it is. This is not instantaneous. As much as I would like to tell you that that works, it doesn't. So if you want to be healthy, if you want to create a lifestyle that gets you, you know, I've been able to maintain this now for about 8 years. 9 years, I've been training for 7. So, you know, at 210 pounds, never in my wildest dreams could I imagine that I would maintain somewhere between, you know, 14 and 18% body fat for the rest of my life. But now I understand a whole lot more about science, about how the body works. I find it fascinating as well. Hey, Winifred, you know, you can have coffee. It's the stuff we put in the coffee that becomes the problem, right? It's the mocha choca fruca, whatever. So coffee is not necessarily a bad thing, especially black coffee, because it's just, it doesn't have a whole lot of calories in it. But so, you know, it's patience. You're going to have patience with you. You know, isn't being a little bit healthier better than being where you were before? Isn't being a little bit happier? Isn't it just those baby steps it's still better than not getting anywhere. Progress is still progress. You know, one day without pain, one day with, you know, just feeling better about yourself. Every little thing that we do does matter. And so why do we feel like it's okay to think that we can get the results without the effort? Because that's just not how it works. You can change. It just takes one day at a time, one habit at a time, one step at a time. Stop being in a hurry. You know, that's what you have to be able to do. Whatever regimen you set up for yourself, can you handle it for the rest of your life? And if you can't, maybe you need to rethink where you want to go with it. It's just something to think about. So hopefully I've covered everything. I know I answered some questions on here. You guys, if you have great questions, please leave a comment below. You can also email me at melissa@fillmorefitness.com, because again, I get all my best ideas from you guys. And if I don't know, I'm going to do some research, because I like to learn about it too. So have an incredible night. Stay warm, because, I know like it was single digits last night. And somewhere back east, I think I saw it was like 80 degrees. I'm like, that's where I need to be right now. Somewhere warmer than it is here. That, and I'm praying for summer to come fast. I don't know. It's a little bit rough. So have an incredible evening, you guys. Meals with Melissa will be up on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And I post everything when I'm done. So if you miss it, if you're at work and you can't get to it, you can always watch it later. If you didn't see the first half, please go back, and I posted it, and apparently it did post, even though nobody was able to watch it while I was doing it. So you got a couple of things that you can watch while you're at it. But have an incredible evening. Stay warm.